This is the Nokia 5.4, another budget-friendly phone from HMD Global. Yes, another one. The 5.4 starts at around 220 euros, so that puts it up against phone makers like Xiaomi and Oppo and even Samsung. And while making this review, the price has dropped down to around 200 euros, so that's pretty nice. But is the Nokia 5.4 any good? Let's find out. I'm Kevin from Peacock Inside Tech, and this is my Nokia 5.4 review. I feel like I'm repeating myself over and over when I review the latest Nokia smartphones because the experience is basically the same no matter if you have the 2.4, 3.4, or now the 5.4, which can be a good thing. But there's not really anything that separates the devices from each other except for the slightly different processor and the price. But don't get me wrong, they're still great solid devices, but I feel like the hardware is starting to fall behind the competition. Like the 5.4 comes with a 6.4-inch HD display. The brightness and colors look okay, but 720p resolution in 2021 is no longer acceptable. When phones like the Samsung Galaxy A31, the Oppo A73 come with full HD resolution, and the Oppo even comes with a 90Hz refresh rate, and that's all for around the same price. One area where HMD Global is really good is at design and build quality because I feel like the phones that they make are pretty solid and they look amazing. Well, at least to me they do. Let me know what you think of the design of the 5.4 down in the comments. And while you're there, feel free to subscribe. Just saying. The 5.4 comes in two colors, a dusk color and the color that I have, the Polar Night, and I really like how it looks. It has this textured look to the backside, although it's smooth. Normally, glossy backs are fingerprint magnets, and the 5.4 is no different. And like all Nokia smartphones, the power button and volume rocker are on the right side. Sadly, the cool notification light that was built into the power button is no longer there, like on the 5.3. But on the bottom, there's a USB-C charging port, speaker, and microphone. On the left side, you'll find the SIM card tray and the Google Assistant button, love it or hate it. At the top of the phone, you have a headphone jack and a second microphone. So for the price, the 5.4 is definitely built really well and it looks pretty good. And the only weird thing I have to say about the hardware is the fingerprint scanner on the back. It looks and feels like a button, but it's not, which is kind of weird, but it works fine, so nothing to worry about, just something I wanted to point out. One area where we see big improvements on the 5.4 over the 5.3 is in the camera department. On the front, you get a 16 megapixel camera instead of the 8 megapixel that you saw on the predecessor, and the quality is pretty good overall. So that's good news for selfie lovers. The main sensor has also been upgraded to 48 megapixels compared to the 13 megapixels from the 5.3. And for the most part, the shots come out sharper and the colors look better. But it does come with the same shortcomings from the 5.3, and that's bad low light performance. But it's also to be expected at this price point. There's also a 5 megapixel ultra wide camera and it performs pretty much the same as on the 5.3, so it's nice to have but don't expect too much. It also has a 2 megapixel macro lens, again, and a 2 megapixel depth lens. It's nice to see the improvements in the camera area, but the video, on the other hand, kind of took a step back. Weirdly, the 5.3 from last year could record 4K at 30 FPS, but the new 5.4 maxes out at 1080p, but at 60 frames per second, which is kind of nice, but still weird. When it comes to the performance of the 5.4, it's surprisingly quick, but when I unboxed it, it was kind of buggy and laggy, but then I got the January security patch and it fixed everything, so everything works really nice and really smooth now. It comes with the Snapdragon 662 processor, and it makes the 5.4 feel noticeably quicker than the predecessor. And 64 gigabytes of storage on the model that I'm using, so it's pretty decently spec'd. Opening and closing apps happens pretty quickly, and the overall experience is pretty nice. Gaming worked pretty well in the short time that I did test those, and since the phone comes with Android One software, you also get 2 major software updates and 3 years of monthly security patches. So that makes the phone pretty future-proof for the next 2 years. And the 5.4 should also get Android 11 soon, but at the time of recording this video, it's still on Android 10 and a security patch from January 2021. The battery performance of the 5.4 is also pretty good. It always got me through a full day with my mixed usage of social media, YouTube, and using the camera, so I didn't have any problems with that at all. I mean, if you're a big gamer, you can kill the battery before the end of the day, but with normal mixed usage, you should be able to get between 1 and 1.5 days of battery life. So by no means is the Nokia 5.4 the best hardware that you can get for around 200 euros. But if software updates and security are important to you, then this is probably a phone you should consider. To be honest, I can't really see a lot of consumers ignoring the spec sheet just to get better software updates and security patches. But I think for companies, this is essential, and I think HMD Global knows this and is targeting more enterprise customers instead of consumers. So thanks for watching my review. A thumbs up would be appreciated if you liked my video, and please subscribe if you want to see more content from me in the future, and I will see you soon in the next video.